On this episode of Espressos with Entrepreneurs, we're getting all European with Reverb Coffee Company. We're learning about the French press.
Oui.
Alright, so like we said in the intro, we're talking French press this week, or as Jeremy likes to call it, the Freedom Press. Still very sensitive on that topic. So why should our viewers be interested in the French press, Jeremy?
Because it's very easy to do, and it's really hard to mess up, and it's pretty quick. So, if you're in a rush in the morning, that should be your go-to method for easy, great coffee.
Alright, well, I guess let's get to it then.
Well, welcome back to the learning corner of Reverb Coffee Company's office. Let's get started with some French press. So before we get started, I'll walk you through some of the tools you're going to need. Obviously, you're going to need the French press pot, some coffee cups, some freshly roasted coffee. Obviously, at Reverb Coffee, we're going to use our own coffee. A digital timer, make sure you're doing everything right. I have a precision pour kettle, but you don't need that. You can just use a pot from your stove. And for me, I like to use a scale. You don't necessarily have to. I'll show you how not to use a scale later on. So that's the tools you're going to need. So the grind that I like to use for French press is more of a coarse grind. So a good consistency to think of is breadcrumbs. It's a good thing to keep in mind, give you a good idea what size you're looking for. So since I'm making 2 cups of coffee, I'm going to use 1 ounce of coffee. For any brew method, it all kind of boils down to a simple ratio of water to coffee grounds. For French press, the ratio I like is 16:1. If you make it my way and you think it's too strong or too weak, you can play from there. French press is super forgiving. So I have a scale, so I'm going to measure it out to do that. But if you don't have a scale, you can just use... This is close to a standard tablespoon, so 1 heaping tablespoon of grounds per 1 8-ounce cup of coffee, and you can just pour that into your pot and boil it, and you're good to go. So that's for you guys if you don't have a scale. Like I said, French press is super forgiving, so if you're off a little bit, you can work from the future if it's too strong or too weak. Before I get started brewing anything, I like to heat all of my utensils up, so I'm going to pour some hot water into the coffee cup and into the French press pot. Just ensures that your coffee stays hot, longer, and it gets everything heated up and nice before you get going. And then you just obviously dump the water out. So now that your French press pot and your cups are warm, let's go ahead and get started. Obviously, the first thing to do is pour your grounds into the French press pot. Then go ahead and tear off your scale if you're using 1 to 0s. Then, once you pour the water in, go ahead and start your timer at the same time. And pour up to 8 or 16 or 24, however many ounces of coffee you're doing. After 30 seconds, you're going to go ahead and give your coffee a good stir. Make sure all your grounds are incorporated and everybody's at the party playing around. After 1 minute of the brew, you're going to go ahead and put your lid on. So the reason why we do the stir at 30 seconds and the lid at 1 minute is to kind of go ahead and give the coffee a little chance to breathe and let off its gases. And if it's fresh, it's gonna do what we call bloom, let off some of its gases, and kind of really get some good taste going on in there. So letting it sit for 1 minute allows that to happen. So then at 4 minutes, you're ready to plunge and pour, and make sure you have your hot water poured out of your cups because you don't want weak coffee. Nobody likes weak coffee. So there you go. That's how you make a French press. So in the morning, your French coffee can be better than the French national soccer team in the World Cup. Although they're playing pretty good this year. Okay. So
I'll trust you because I don't watch soccer. So awesome. So that's one method down. We got a few more to cover this summer. But it's summertime. It's nice out. All this rain has stopped here in Memphis. It's getting hot.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad yet. We're not in triple digits.
No.
So get out, enjoy stuff that's outside. You know, don't just watch our great YouTube videos, but go out in the green line, ride a bike, jog, play disc golf at Shelby Farms.
Real golf.
Play real golf. Play tennis.
Yeah.
Do whatever you like to do that's active, because it's summer and that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Be outside, enjoy the sun. Wear some sunscreen if you're pasty like me.
Do wear sunscreen, because you don't want to get burned.
No, that's not fun.
So, as always, like us on Facebook, subscribe, comment. We'll get back with you.
And in the meantime, don't take yourself too seriously.